Hi all. Welcome to Feathers of Wisdom. I'm Stacy, the Black Feather Intuitive. Thanks for tuning in. Gotta be honest, this week I'm a little bit sad. Sad and angry. I just found out yesterday on Facebook that a girl I went to high school with was brutally murdered by her husband. I should say allegedly, but he has been arrested for the crime and charged with first-degree murder. And I didn't know her well, but we certainly weren't enemies. I thought very highly of her and she of me. We just didn't run in the same circles. So it's not really like I knew her or kept in touch with her. But just hearing this news really struck me to my core. And I think it struck me for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, it's a horrible, tragic experience. And I never like hearing about those things. I keep thinking about her 3 young children. What's going to happen to them. I think about her family, who's left behind. And I think about her husband and what kind of crazy, deep, dark state he had to be in order to do something like that to someone he supposedly loved and who is the mother of his children, someone he lived with for 12 years. And partially, I think it hit me really hard because this is the same way that my grandmother passed. My grandfather brutally murdered her. And it was similar circumstances. My grandmother was, we suspect, getting ready to leave him, and he came home from work unexpectedly, probably to check up on her while she was packing, and he did it. In his case, it was a crime of passion in a way, sort of heat of the moment. This particular case is a premeditated murder situation. So this guy actually thought that this was the only way out, that he would just solve his problems by killing her. And I gotta tell you, I'm all about love and light. As you know, I do these Feathers of Wisdom. I'm all about, offering a different perspective, getting divine guidance on how we can look into these situations and see them, the things that happen in our lives and see them in a different light. But I gotta tell you, my human side today is really angry and very, very confused. I do personally believe that everything happens for a reason. And I do believe that there are sometimes lessons that can be learned. There's always growth that can happen out of things that we deem bad or uncomfortable or icky or tragic in this case. But I'm having a hard time sort of putting my money where my mouth is today. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to do a card pull and just see what my Divine Dream Team says about helping me to embrace compassion during this time of anger and confusion. So I got my deck. Hope you all are having a great week. In spite of this sort of tragedy, this week has been pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, here's one that popped out at me. Oh, interesting. Well, isn't this ironic? So the past lives card really is about karma, karmic patterns. If you believe in karma. If you do not believe in the concept of karma, it also can be about cycles and patterns that we get caught up in. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, having the same situations or scenarios or types of people coming into our lives over and over and over again. And they're there to teach us something. They're there to show us something, to mirror something to us that perhaps needs to be fixed, healed, stopped. And, we keep falling into those cycles and patterns over and over and over again. And until there is someone that comes into our lives that really forces it in our face, shoves it in our face to the point where we just can't deny it any longer, we don't see it. So this is a very fitting card to pull in this regard. And what this is saying to me right now, thinking of compassion, and trying to make sense of this tragic, horrible situation and have compassion for him, compassion for the choice that he made. this card is really showing me that he is caught in a karmic pattern or karmic cycle. Or again, if you don't believe in karma, he's just caught up in making the same mistake over and over and over and over again. And the feeling I'm getting here, the information that I'm receiving, is that this is a pattern that has just escalated for him. And I also see that, and I don't know anything about this guy, but I also see that this was something that was taught to him. This is something that he witnessed to varying degrees in his life. And that him coming to this conclusion, him premeditating the murder of his wife, feeling that that was his only way out, the only answer to moving forward. This all came from the way he was taught, things that he saw, things that he experienced in his life. And while I am fully all about him being held accountable, he's been arrested for this crime, and they're very confident that he will be convicted. They have quite a bit of evidence and witness statements and that kind of thing. But I do feel that he should be held accountable. I also feel from a compassionate standpoint that there is more to his story that would possibly help us to understand why he made the decision that he made. And that, to some degree, does bring comfort to me, knowing that, I mean, let's face it, we all have a past. I have made many decisions in my life that I'm not proud of, many choices. And, you know, there are things that I try not to live with regret, because I do believe that everything happens for a reason and that you can learn and grow from every experience, and that in a lot of ways that's the point. But there are some things that I just simply am not proud of. And if I could do it over again, I got to tell you, I would definitely consider undoing that and making a different choice. And I would not want to be judged. I think that's a big fear for a lot of us, is that fear of being judged. And by me showing my anger, feeling this anger, expressing this anger, while that is not wrong or bad, it's not serving him. It's not serving me. I'm sorry, it's not serving me. It's not doing anything to him. And it's not serving me other than to just keep me feeling unrest and feeling that, you know, issue of injustice and why did this happen? So I think today I am going to choose, I'm grateful for this card, because I think today I am going to choose to show him compassion and send him love and light, because I can only imagine, I can't even fathom really how low he must have been to make this choice, to go this low, to go this deep, and to scar his soul in such a profoundly disturbing way. That someone like that really needs compassion. And I also am keeping his children surrounded in love and light. I hope with all of my heart that they someday can make sense of all of this and still grow into the people that they were meant to be. Anyway, I know this is a little bit of a unique Feathers of Wisdom today. Not my usual way of doing things, but I am grateful for you watching this, for allowing me to share my vulnerability with you and let you know that you know, I do my best to put my money where my mouth is, and sometimes I struggle with that as well. But this card really is very fitting for the situation, and I'm grateful to my Divine Dream team for sharing this information with us. I hope you guys have a great week.